Hi, everyone. I'm Karen Robinson. I am a trauma recovery expert and a retreat host. And this is my friend and co retreat partner. Steph, introduce yourself.
Hello, my friends. My name is Stephanie Flanders-Martin, and Karen and I are collaborative retreat hosts. I am a trauma-informed yoga teacher and a travel advisor.
And Stephanie and I just finished this most incredible, amazing retreat in Paris, Virginia, called Finding the Stillness Within, which is going to be a theme for many of our retreats. Stephanie, what was your favorite part of this retreat we just did together?
I honestly, my favorite part is and always will be, honestly, Karen, is bringing a community of people together, whether it's women or couples, because in community, we can just heal even just the presence of each other together.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Stephanie. Oh, I have some blinking lights going on here. So the community was really special for me too, as well. I also really loved, I think my mind, body, and spirit loves starting and ending each day with that yoga practice and the gentle movements. My body just really was like, oh, this is so nice. That was one of my favorite pieces. Can you share a little bit more about how you pick locations for us?
Yeah, so the locations are picked sometimes by what Karen and I are most drawn to or where we feel there might be some good healing opportunities. But also, it's picked by what parts of the world we want to explore together and then being able to bring our communities with us to explore those parts of the world. So we have so many amazing things planned for 2026. I'm going to go ahead and just introduce what we have planned because I'm so excited. We have a retreat for women, and we're going to be north of Rome in a small community called Viterbo. It's about an hour and 20 minutes from Rome, and I've been there several times. What I like about Viterbo is it's a big, small community, so it has lots to offer, yet part of the beauty is it's an old city. So you get to experience kind of part of the cultural of Italy. And what Karen and I have planned for that retreat are to, first of all, be in community and do some really amazing group healing, but also to go to the Roman thermal baths. We're going to take a side trip to Rome. We're going to do a cooking class. And we have so much more planned. So we're really excited about that. Now, that's the first part of June. Then we're going to transition. Karen and I are going to stay there. We're going right to Tuscany and we're taking a couples retreat. We only have 2 spots left for that. In Tuscany, we're going to explore lots of parts of Tuscany, Modena, and we're going to go to Verona. And so we've got some really fun things planned for that. And then our last retreat for 2026 is a women's retreat, and that is the Stillness Within. And we're hosting that in Oregon. My home, I live in Central Oregon, but this is in the rolling hills of Dundee, Oregon. If you have never been, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's only about an hour and 15 minutes from the beach. And Karen and I have all kinds of fun plans. So we've picked these, we kind of hand curated these trips for us to be able to not only be in community, but to explore those local areas as well.
I am uber excited too, Stephanie. And I know our Tuscany retreat for couples, we've only got a couple spots left, and we're almost sold out for Oregon as well. So the first retreat in Italy, the women we are taking, can you remind me, is it 8 spots that we have left?
I think we have 8 spots left. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so we have a couple signups, but we want more. And because we want to work on flights early for everyone, so flights are more affordable and not waiting last minute, we really want to have 5 more women sign up before the end of November. If we don't have 5 more signups before then, we may decide to pivot and include the women on our following trip in 2027, which is the Cambodia trip. So if you know you've been wanting to go to Italy, you want to go to a place that's not super fancy, but very historical in nature, to try out the Roman baths, to try a slow pace of fun. We're going to do some strolling on e-bikes and walking in nature and just exploring as we are working on our healing practice. Stephanie, you've been to Italy before. What about Italy is soothing to you or makes you feel like you're working on your healing?
Yeah. Well, I love the culture. For me, I love the people. So, one of my favorite things, Karen, in any country I go to is an opportunity to connect with the culture. So, part of my healing is to be able to understand or to navigate different cultures and explore different places. Adventure is one of my pillars or one of my values. So I love that. And part of my healing is that adventure part. So if I'm staying in this place of curiosity and adventure, yet the second pillar that I really lean into for myself is community, being in community and being able to do that with other women or with couples is, to me, is really the magic of my healing, because I get to hear what others need. I get to provide my yoga classes for others in a way that I hope helps support their healing, meditation, mindfulness, all those things that I can do. So that's really, because I've been to Italy many times. What I love about Italy is just the culture.
I love it. I know your team worked on the website page for this adventure together, and I really love how it's described. Those who don't know, I've never been to Italy, so this will be my first time, and I am just thrilled to be able to go. But I love how your team has said it's nestled in the historic town of Viterbo. How do you say that again?
Viterbo.
Viterbo. And that it's surrounded by natural hot springs, the ancient streets, the tranquil Italian countryside. And this really invites us to slow down, to truly focus on what matters. I love that so much. I can't wait for this. It's an 8-day adventure for women. It's for women that are more on the adventurous side and wanting holistic healing side, more so than the woman that loves to do a lot of shopping or have really fancy experiences. We're looking for something more in nature, more slow healing. Sure, we'll do some shopping, but it's not going to be I guess, our focus. Our focus is really just slowing down, working on our breath, working on yoga, working on our healing pillars, which is our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, our relationship health, looking at our abundance, all of these things together, and just looking at areas where we can maybe take some time to upgrade, right? So this is for the woman that really wants to be in community with other women to work on their healing adventure. The other thing I want to say is Stephanie and I both love working in different cultures, but we also love working with diverse women. So women of any ethnic group are welcome to apply. You can be gay, straight, binary, non-binary. We are open to all of you who really want to take this time to heal. Is there anything else about the workshop, Stephanie, now that you saw how I love to offer workshops in Virginia? Is there anything in particular that stood out for you that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, one thing I have gotten away from in my personal practice and that I loved was the opportunity to reconnect with journaling and with tapping into some of the really good cues that you offer as far as how to rethink where I'm at and how to
Yeah.
reframe that. And the reframing for me was huge, right? So if I'm thinking this now, how can I reframe that? And then how can I journal about that? And how can I continue to grow from that reframe? The other thing I really loved from what you offered, Karen, was the affirmation. I'm a big affirmation person, and the affirmations and the opportunity to reconnect to myself with positive affirmations. I loved that you offered for each of those pillars different ways to reframe that in an affirmation too. That was huge for me.
Thank you for that, Stephanie. So we make sure that you have some actions plans on things that you can work on after the retreat. And one of the things that Stephanie brought, she brought a lot of value, like working with two of us together, having both a therapist and a coach working with you. Like, how blessed is that? But one of the stuffs I loved, Stephanie, that you brought was the essential oils. It reconnected me to them again. We did some lavender to help settle us before bed. And we did some more fruity ones like the orange blossom in the morning, the lemongrass to help energize us in the morning. I loved how you put the drops in every woman's hand and we rubbed our hands together and just took that moment to inhale. I also love the intention cards that you gave us to really think about our intention in terms of connecting with our breath, connecting with the intention we wanted for our yoga practice. That was really beautiful as well. So I'm guessing we'll bring all those goodness to our future retreats.
Yes. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. And I love doing that as part of my yoga practice.
Yeah. So just for recapping Italy, we only have a couple slots left for a couples retreat in Tuscany. We need 5 more women to make the Italy retreat happen. That's a private group for women. And our Oregon trip is also nearly sold out. But the other cool thing is the name of our community, Stephanie. We haven't said that. She Rises. Can you say a little bit how we came up with that?
Yeah, I love the name as we started thinking about what does this really mean to Karen and I, and what would this community look like to come together? First of all, collaboration as Karen and I, but collaboration as each woman in that community as well. And we really are there to uplift, support, and be there as a community for the women that come into this community. So one of the beautiful things that Karen set up for our retreat last time, and what I've loved over the last week watching as we've all kind of transitioned home, is a Facebook Messenger page. And so for us to continue to be in communication on that page and to be able to really continue to say, I had such a success with this today, or and we all get to celebrate that. Or for Karen to put a little tickler in there about reminder about an affirmation or whatever. I just think it's a continued benefit of being part of our retreats before, and we prep you to go before, and then after we will continue that community. And we also have a private Facebook page. So being one of the things with She Rises Collaborative is really to have it to be a community, to be where we lift each other up and not to ever feel that you're left alone, that we're here for you.
Yeah. And the reason we decided to include couples in this, one, there's such a need for couples to heal. And I've been working on a certification program. I finished the coursework, and I'm working with couples on how to really value and validate each other, being seen, being heard, being nurtured in your relationship. So Stephanie and I are bringing that model or pieces of that model into the couples retreats. I'm so excited, Stephanie. Like one of the things we ordered for the couples is the talking sticks. They're really cute. And when we're working on communication, you have to be holding the stick in order to speak. And that means the other person has to use their 2 ears to really listen and not think about what they want to say. How many of us practice that in our everyday life? Not so much. So I'm thrilled about that. So She Rises, we say we work with women in healing, but we also work with a few good men. And what we mean by a few good men, it's the women and their husbands who really want to quantum leap their healing. They want to thrive in this life. So we're not looking for couples that are totally dysfunctional and ready to go to divorce court. We're looking for couples that recognize that healing is a lifelong journey and you have to invest into each other. You have to invest your energy, your time, and your money into healing. And Stephanie, what are you most excited about with the couples trips we have? Because we have 3 that we're talking about. Can you say a little more about the 3 trips we have and what you're excited about?
Yeah, first of all, Italy, and I love Tuscany. And one of the things I'm most excited about is I have been to one of these areas, but I haven't been to a couple of the other areas that we're going to be going to, but we're going to Verona. And what is Verona famous for, my friends? Romeo and Juliet. So star-crossed lovers, and really ways that we can fold just part of the history of that story into some of the couples communication. I think Karen will do an amazing job of that. Our next couples retreat, my favorite place in the world to go, is Egypt. I love Egypt, and we're taking a group to Egypt in July of 2027. Now, the benefit of this trip is that we will only take, I think we have 12 rooms, and we've only have 10 left. So that trip is going to be amazing. We're starting in Cairo. And then my favorite part of that trip, of course, is going down the Nile. So we will be doing a river cruise down the Nile in a private boat with just our community. So I'm really excited about that. And then our next couples retreat that we have planned, Karen and I will be taking you to see the penguins, Antarctica. So we're going to Antarctica in end of January of 2028. And that one is just in the process of being planned. So Karen and I are really excited about that too, because Antarctica has been on both of our lists. An opportunity to connect as couples, communicate in a different way and better way, right? Getting all those skill sets you need, but then to have some adventure along the way.
Awesome. And if you're single now, you have time to find the love of your life before 2028. So have hope, have faith in that. And I believe our plan right now is to leave out of Buenos Aires. And so with that cruise to Antarctica, that means Stephanie and I will have officially completed retreats in 7 continents. Not many retreat partners can say they've done that together. We didn't even plan to talk about the retreats for 2027, 28. I'm just so excited. And I know Stephanie is too. I couldn't help myself. So if you can't work with us in 2026, we hope you can. If you do sign up for the Women's Italy retreat after your down payment, I believe Stephanie said the payments were 233. No, 800, sorry, $833 for 6 months. And so that's one way to have it happen. But if that's not in your budget, planning ahead, you can have a smaller payment for some of the future retreats. We really want people that have this dream in their heart to travel and to heal, have adventures, have play in your life. We really want people to find it affordable for them.
And
Anything
Karen,
that you want to say?
yeah, can you speak to a little bit about the ability to use your FSA if as part of this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's HSA.
Oh, HSA.
It's FSA feds for federal
Yeah.
employees. So it's the same thing. It's your health savings account. So if you work for an employer that allows you to save for health expenses pre-tax, you can actually use that money to attend our healing retreats. And the only reason why is I am actually a licensed therapist. So I'm considered a medical provider. And so for anyone who would like to use that that funding to plan your retreats, I can give you that medical letter of medical necessity, especially, but you have to have a qualifying diagnosis. I should say that as well. So you have to have either post-traumatic stress disorder, major depression, anxiety in the mental health realm. So either your current provider has to give you that diagnosis, or I can assess you and do that as well as a medical provider. So it's a cost savings to not have to pay taxes on our retreats. And a lot of people have money in their health savings accounts that's just been sitting there. And sometimes you lose money, like federal government, military members. I know you lose that money if you don't spend it in a certain amount of time. So please don't do that. Reach out. I'm happy to work with you on that.
Awesome.
Any
Thank
final
you,
words,
Karen.
Stephanie?
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. And I'm so excited. I think Karen and I don't know who's bubbling more for the excitement of just continuing to travel with amazing communities of people and sharing our gifts and talents with you to help continue be a part of your healing journey.
Thank you, Stephanie. I do have one more thing to say, is that Stephanie and I are so invested emotionally, physically, financially, all the ways in retreats. We actually attend our own, meaning we go to other people's retreats for our own healing. That's how important we believe it to be. And so just know if there's a certain month or a year that you really want to go someplace and it doesn't work out with our schedule, we both have friends who do different retreats, and Stephanie has a travel agency. She can help you get paired up with another partner to host or tell you about a different retreat. We just really are wanting you to work on having your best quality of life possible. And I think retreats is part of that. Would you agree?
100%. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. We appreciate everyone that took the time to come by and listen and watch our little TED talk on you must go on a retreat. Anything else, Steph?
I think that's it, but I'm looking forward to touching in, and please reach out if you have questions to either Karen and I. We're happy to answer questions as well. If this is something of interest, but you don't quite know if it's right, either one of us can help support you with more answers to those questions.
Okay. Thank you, Stephanie, for joining me today.
Thank you, my friend. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye-bye.